Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video. Edward Jude here. It is currently, I believe, 10:30 p.m. on the 26th of May 2025. And I just wanted to make this video real quick because I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I wanted to share this as fast as I possibly could with the public before it just kind of slips out of my mind. So yeah, I'll just get straight to the point. I don't really want to get too deep into it, but so this month it's the 26th of May, but it's been about 2 weeks since I made the last monthly income recap, and since then I've made about $1,400. Um, if you want to know exactly how I made this money, you should probably stick around until I make my um, income report for the month of May, which I'll be releasing in maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, depending on when I have the time to actually get all the screenshots and everything together. But I think I'll end this month off at around 2,000, 2,500. On the high end, I think 2,000 is a pretty conservative and realistic estimate to make with the whole trajectory this whole thing is going in. But I recently made this kind of inner discovery, you could say, where if you guys have been sticking around in my channel and you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that the whole point of me making these videos as of right now is to document my journey to 50K a month, and I aim to achieve that before I turn 20 years old. So my birthday is on the 25th of January, so let's just say before 2027. My goal is to make 50K a month, my first 50K month profit, before 2027. So December 2026 is kind of like the deadline I set for myself to make my first 50K month, to achieve my first 50K month. And what I've realized is, because I set my goal so far away, right? When I first set this goal, which was a couple months ago, it was basically 2 years away. Now it's a year and a half away, a bit more than a year and a half away. And because I set this goal so far ahead in the future, I'm kind of giving myself the ability to cut some slack. I'm giving myself the ability to kind of postpone effort, to postpone consistency, to postpone discipline, because who knows, something could potentially pop off. I don't want to test as many products. I don't want to film as many videos. I don't want to spend 10, 12 hours a day working hard, because it's fine. Maybe a month from now, something will pop. Maybe 6 months from now, something will pop. It doesn't matter if I don't figure something out in the next year, because I still have another 7 months after that to figure things out. And I think this is one of the downsides of, it's always good to be ambitious in the long term. It's always good to have this vision of wanting to achieve 50K a month in 2 years, and then 100K a month in 3, and then $1 million a month before you're 25. I have all these kind of long-term visions for my life. I have all these kind of ambitious goals I set 2 years in the future. When I'm 25, when I'm 30, I want to be a billionaire. I feel like everyone has these goals. But at the same time, you have to understand that the process of achieving those goals isn't necessarily a big jump. It's not like you discover this one winning product and you find this perfect creative and you just suddenly blow up to 50K a month. That's not necessarily how it works. It's more of like a step-by-step, slow, gradual process. And that's something that you kind of come to realize as you get into this space. So, it's good for me to have this kind of long-term goal of 50K a month in 2 years. It's not that long-term of a goal, because it's only 18, 19 months away at this current moment in time, but it's still a pretty long-term goal. So yeah, because of this, I've been kind of slacking off with kind of testing as many products. If I want to describe it in the most kind of comprehensible way possible, you could just say I'm kind of lacking that sense of urgency, because I set my goals so far ahead in the future. So I think because of this, I'll have to set another kind of sub goal along this journey. So my journey is, obviously, money is a numerical, materialistic substance. It has no end. Elon Musk has like $380 billion now, and he's still trying to get richer. He's still trying to become a trillionaire. And then from there, you can become a multi-trillionaire. And then you can find antimatter somewhere in the galaxy and become a multi-quintillionaire. So money never really ends. So I think before I even get to 10K a month, it's kind of how do I say it, ineffective to even think about reaching 50K a month. And in the same way, if I can't even buy like a cheap car, it's probably not a good idea to think about how I'm going to afford a Bugatti Chiron. So, you know, I wanted to make this video because I just kind of had to get it out in public. I had to kind of hold myself accountable in some way, especially because as of right now, with everything I'm going through, I don't really have anyone to kind of hold me accountable. I don't have, um, I don't want to talk about it. It's a long story, but I don't really have anyone to hold me accountable. So I have you guys, the maybe 2, 3 people watching this video if I'm lucky, maybe even one person who's watching this video. Um, if there's one person who's watching this video sometime in the future who just kind of um, is curious enough to check in on me and see if I've achieved this goal, that's enough to hold me accountable, honestly. All it takes is one person, really. But I just wanted to put this video out there. So this month, I've hit my first 2K month. I think that's a pretty conservative estimate for the rest of the next 10, 15 days. And according to how that will play out, that number could be higher, it could be lower. But I think 2,000 is a very conservative estimate. So that would assume I make about $700 in the next 10 to 15 days, which is very, 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 very realistic for me with the current rate I'm going in and this current kind of whole thing I've discovered on WAP. Not discovered, but this thing that I'm currently doing on WAP. So yeah, my next goal is to reach my sub goal in this whole journey to 50K a month is going to be to reach 10K a month. And I'm going to set this goal by the end of this year. So it's no longer me on month 5 aiming to achieve 50K a month on 50K a month profit on month 24. It's now me trying to get from 2K a month to 10K a month over the course of these next 7 months. So I set a deadline. I'm going to university this fall, so I have to leave about late August, early September. So it's better if I achieve this goal before then, because I'm pretty sure once I get into school and I have to settle in alone in a whole different country with a whole different system and friends and social circles and all this kind of these kind of hassles that come with studying abroad. I'm pretty sure these final 2-3 months of the year are going to be pretty hectic for me, and I'm pretty sure I won't be able to kind of give as much time as I would like to this whole business kind of side of things. So by August, today is May, so it's almost the 6th month. So technically, I only have 3 months left. 3 to 5 months left, but realistically I have 3 to 4 months left to go from 2K a month to 10K a month in profit. So that's a very, very ambitious goal, but I do need to set a deadline, and I need to believe it from the bottom of my heart. It's not this, oh, maybe if this product blows up, maybe if I get enough views, maybe if I discover this, maybe. There's a lot of maybes in the world, right? If you go out and you ask any person with any sort of kind of mental capacity and ambition in their life, they want to be a billionaire. Maybe I'll start a business. Maybe I'll own this kind of multinational corporation that sells antibiotics. Everyone has their own dream, but it's deeply rooted in this kind of sense of maybe. So, I'm not gonna live my life in the sense of maybe. I really have no choice, so I have to burn the boats. It's not something as insignificant to me where I can kind of postpone this to a maybe, where I can set it to a maybe. It must happen, because I just, quite frankly, can't visualize a life where I don't achieve these things. And I also understand that everyone else on this planet Earth wants the same thing I want, and a lot of them are working pretty hard towards the goal. So I don't come from a rich family. I don't have an IQ of 200. I don't have a lot of startup capital or a mentor. So the only way I'm going to win this game is through ruthless execution, consistency, discipline, and just showing up every day, regardless of how I feel. And it also kind of ties into the whole point of urgency, because if you're not urgent, if you don't feel like you have to put in the work now, then you're going to postpone that work to a later date, and then you're going to be 20, 21, 22. Just the fear of imagining myself when I'm 20, when I'm 21, and I'm still broke as fuck. I'm not even making 5K a month, and I'm in university. Like, think about it. I just can't even imagine myself in that situation. It would be such a disappointing thing to see and to experience, being at that point where the younger me thought I would be making 50, 100K a month. I would be this successful guy making money and kind of taking control of my own life. and I end up being nothing because I understand that time is passing by very, very fast. Every day goes by like it's nothing, and I'm just uh, every single day leaves me as this kind of drained, frail creature at night because I'm just so emotionally, physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually almost exhausted every day from just working and handling all these things, this stress, this pressure that comes with the whole process. So yeah, my goal is to reach 10K a month by the end of this year. Not necessarily end of this year. I'd say um in the next 2 to 3 months, so by September. But the actual deadline is by the end of this year because think about it. If I reach 10K a month by the end of this year in a scalable business model like ecom, and I have another 12 months to get to 50K a month, I feel like it's really possible. Um, I could even go higher, but going from 0 to 1K a month, going from zero to making your first dollar online is pretty hard. Going from making $1 a month to 100 is pretty hard. Going from 100 to making 1,000 is pretty hard, and going from 1,000 to making 10,000 is also pretty hard. But as you as you jump as you go between these kind of stages from 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, even though the gaps and the jumps in the numerical monetary equivalent increases, I feel like the effort and difficulty decreases because once you figure something out, it's much easier to scale and make it work than discovering it in the first place, especially for a business model like ecom where you can test 100 products, 99 can fail, and you can feel like a loser, and then one just pops off, and then you just fly to the moon and make $1 million off that product in a single year. So I've seen it with my own eyes. I know it's possible, and I know I can do it. And I say all these things in the least kind of braggadocious, egotistical, prideful way possible. Quite frankly, I don't think I'm better than anyone else. That's kind of the whole point of me putting in so much work because I understand deep down that I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the most clever guy. I'm not the most disciplined. I'm not the most hardworking. But these are traits that I can change. I can't change my intelligence, but I can change how I eat, kind of how I set these mental frameworks in my mind so I can approach real world problems in regards to business, in regards to life, in the most efficient way possible. So, there are things I can't change, but the things I can change, I will try my best to maximize them. And I feel like hopefully that will be enough. Actually, I know it will be enough to set me apart from the competition because nowadays, whether you want to believe it or not, and you can see this from your own eyes, if you just look into the lives of the men who say they're ambitious around you, most people are more talk than do. All bark, no bite, so to say, nowadays. So yeah, guys, 10K a month in the next 3 to 5 months by the end of this year is my goal. Even if I'm just slightly shy, 7, 8K, it's not exactly 10K, but it's a whole different barrier. Once you break through that 1 to 2K, like kind of couple $1,000 a month mark to that kind of almost 5-figure mark, it's a completely different ball game. Scaling from 10 to 50K a month, I don't feel like it's really that hard. From what I've seen, scaling from 50 to hundreds of thousands is what's difficult. But the 5-figure range, they call it a 5-figure range for a reason because it's kind of all in the same ballpark in terms of processes, systems, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, the way I plan to do this is by amping up product tests like crazy. So currently I'm testing about one product a month because I just have no budget to be able to test products. I was basically just asking my parents for money, and I also had this girlfriend who kind of, I don't know, I don't even want to talk about it, but I also had to save money for her. So it's now I don't have her anymore. So I have more freedom. And also this whole clipping thing on WAP, which I discovered, I'll be going over that in my April income review, is making me $2,000+ a month. So that gives me a lot of money to kind of bootstrap and to fund Shopify fees, to fund product tests, delivery fees, and all these sorts of kind of like CapCut Pro, NordVPN. It gives me so much more freedom to kind of execute because one product takes like 25, $30 to test. If I want to test 5 a month, that's 150, and I still have $1,850 left over every single month. So yeah, because of this newfound source of income, now we are able to scale our processes. So we're going to be testing multiple products a month. We're going to be scaling things up to at least, I'd say, 4 to 5 products a month, and then we're just going to be doing more, right? We're going to be doing much more, and we're going to be doing it now. It's not I'm going to test 5 products in a year. It's not I'm going to test 5 products once this current one blows up. I have a source of income. I have the money necessary to bootstrap my main business endeavor, which is organic dropshipping, and now we're going to go all in. Because yeah, your boy is kind of lacking this sense of urgency. I'm kind of letting every day pass without. I go to sleep, I feel mentally drained, I feel exhausted. I wake up at like 9, I work all the way up till like 2 3 a.m. Obviously, I don't just sit there working nonstop. I'm a regular human being. I might take breaks, but I try to push myself as much as possible. I work 10 12 hours a day. I'm not trying to brag like I'm just hardworking, like, oh, monk mode guy, but you have to be kind of autistic in a way. Like everything has to be thoroughly and meticulously planned out and structured and executed. And even at the end of the day, when I'm mentally exhausted, I go to bed and I don't really feel like I'm I'm working hard enough. I don't feel like I'm executing enough. I don't feel like I'm urgent enough for the things I'm doing. Like I film 5 videos for the same product. I'm just not doing enough, and I don't feel like I want it bad enough. Even though I understand this whole concept of you have to do it now, you have to be urgent, like work hard every day. There's a very big difference between understanding it from a logical perspective and actually embracing it from a kind of inner perspective, embracing it within your soul, within your mind. There's a difference between kind of putting the concept in one ear and like kind of letting it out the other, and actually embedding it into your mental framework. So it doesn't matter what mood you're in. It doesn't matter if you're sleepy, if you're tired, if you're exhausted. If you approach any situation where that kind of concept is applicable, your mind will kind of subconsciously just apply that concept, and it actually makes the concept apply. For example, the whole point of meditation is to kind of give yourself a break. But when I first started meditating, I was meditating for the sake of meditating. Like I was sitting there meditating, technically. I was breathing in and out. I was just like mentally laughing and being hysterical, and just there was no point to it. So when I stopped trying to just meditate for the sake of meditating and doing things for the sake of doing them, and actually kind of doing them for the benefit of doing them, it really caused a massive change to my life. And that's the same thing I'm going to do now, where I'm not going to just film videos. I'm not going to just test products for the sake of testing them in hopes that one day, because I have another year and a half or a year and 7 months left to go, like I'm going to be able to cut myself some slack. I'm not in that position anymore. It's now or never. I'm burning the boats, because there's no way on earth I can live life knowing that I didn't achieve this. Like I can't see myself in a state where I want this thing so bad to the point where I desire it from a spiritual level, and I'm unable to get it. And I never want to look back, because regret is the most painful thing. And I want to know deep down, between me and God, that I tried my best. And if I did, even if I fail, it's completely fine. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to come out here and publicly say that I'm setting my goal to making 10K a month by the end of this year. It's do or die. I'm burning the boats. There's no way on earth I'm not making 10K a month by the end of this year. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I literally spoke for what seemed like 3 minutes, and this video is already 19 minutes long, which is pretty crazy. So if anyone stick around till the end, hats off to your attention span. You are probably making it out of the rat race, hopefully together with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything you want to say, any pieces of advice you want to give me, as usual, go ahead, drop them down in the comments. I'll be releasing more updates, more tips, and once I figure things out, I'm going to help you guys out as much as possible as well. That's the whole point of me starting this channel in the first place, to help out as many people as possible, and to kind of, not in an Imangazi way, but kind of reform the educational system and kind of discover what's really going on behind the curtains of this kind of journey from zero to hero, and the principles that led to this whole outcome. So yeah, guys, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for sticking around till the end of this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.